Hey guys, let me guess.
Do not assume.
Coffee that.
Sounds like a lot of... Hoopla! Right? Wrong!
I had the privilege of going to God of War completely blind. All I knew about it is that it's supposed to be good. Like,
really good.
having played the original trilogy, there were 4 things that completely came out of left field for me. Number 1, the father-son storyline. The last thing I ever would have expected to work is a storyline that humanizes a monster like Kratos.
He's already dead!
I initially found the idea kind of silly. It's like trying to turn Duke Nukem into a morally upstanding citizen. Number 2, the open world. God of War is traditionally a linear action game. How the hell is this going to work as an open world game? Number 3, the over-the-shoulder POV. I've seen this POV often from shooters, but for God of War?
I don't know how I feel about it.
Number 4, and this is more of a nitpicky thing, but why did they do that annoying thing of giving a sequel the same title as the first game in the series? It makes sense for a reboot or reimagining, but this is neither. It's a sequel in a new setting, carrying all the backstory of the previous games. I can just picture someone telling Cory Barlog to drop the 4, just God of War.
It's cleaner.
Color me confused by these decisions. Despite my doubts, these changes have elevated the series to heavenly heights. Minus the title thing, it's still stupid. The story is fairly simple. Kratos must journey to the highest peak of the 9 realms to spread his dead wife's ashes. Yes, 9 realms. We're in Norse mythology now, so there's a whole new slew of gods to murder. We see an older, more mature Kratos seeking to bury his demons, and straight up refusing to let the dad bod set in.
Impressive.
Atreus is the perfect foil to Kratos, and shows us sides of him I never thought I'd see.
The hare is too confident of victory and foolish, while the tortoise is steady and disciplined. The tortoise wins.
You haven't told a lot of stories, have you?
He also provides most of the exposition since Kratos is illiterate.
Okay, so the runes represent a lot of different things.
I'm retarded?
The writing and voice acting are excellent, especially from Christopher Judge. Just listening to that deep baritone makes you feel like an inferior man.
Watch your tone, boy.
All that took me out of it are occasionally weird deliveries, like this scene where Atreus stabs a dude in the neck, and Kratos reacts as tepidly as if his kid was merely making a silly face in public or something.
What are you doing?
I also hate Sindri, the limp-dicked hypochondriac who's supposed to provide comic relief, but it always falls flat. His brother Brock, on the other hand, is always delightful.
I'm telling you, it's Thimblewind. I can feel it in my scrot. Proudly, you some bitch. Now what the fuck else you want, huh?
Watch your profanity.
This game sports some of the best graphics I've ever seen, and it runs like a dream. I never experienced any frame drops.
Did I stutter?
The sense of scope and massiveness is startling, and the orchestral score hits those same epic notes of previous titles. The entire presentation here is just incredible. I was initially skeptical about the new combat system. That is, until I hit my first brutal hard axe kill.
Oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this.
Combat has this jerky frame rate that adds major weight and impact to every strike. The Leviathan axe is a welcome change, and having it return to you like Thor's hammer never gets old. Remember those lazy-ass QuickTime events from previous games? No more. Now you've got Uncharted-like set pieces, and this cool scenario where you circle around Atreus to protect him. Speaking of Atreus, I was worried he'd be this liability you have to constantly save from danger, but no, he can fend for himself.
I have the power of God and anime on my side!
Supplemented with special magic attacks, Spartan rage, and Doom-like finishing moves, combat always felt fun.
Let's kick some ice.
And it's surprisingly challenging. Unlike previous God of War games where I'd smurf my way through like Steven Seagal, you feel quite weak in this one early on. I was regularly sent to Pound Town and had to constantly witness Kratos' goofy-ass death animation where he goes stiff as a board. The explorative aspect of God of War was, for me, probably the most shocking change. Instead of a linear adventure, you've got an open world riddled with hidden paths and chests. Now, was that really necessary? The world map is vague, and the compass only points to the main quest, so you're kind of forced to really observe and explore your surroundings. As if Midgard wasn't big enough, there are 8 other realms. Mind you can't travel to all of them.
Fucking tease.
The side stuff is admittedly not as interesting as the main quest, but if it involves Odin doors, I'm all in. Finding those binding points goes straight into my S tier of oddly satisfying video game fetishes. The only sucky thing about exploration is the limited fast travel. I could easily have shaved off an additional hour or 2 of gameplay with those extra minutes I spent in limbo between portals. It took me over 35 hours to beat this game, which is longer than the first 3 God of War games combined. Overall, it is much deserving of those ridiculous scores. My final score? The satisfied sound you make after drinking a refreshing beverage.
Another!